Just nice shoes. Like someone who plays a lot of jazz and shoots dope would wear, you know?
Okay.
Like that. Those kind of shoes.
Okay. Welcome to Couch Surfing, the show where empowered guests look back at their big roles, their little roles, and everything in between. I'm here social distancing with Method Man, aka Clifford Smith. Meth, Cliff, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You ready to surf?
Absolutely. Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
Ooh, Copland.
Yeah.
First role where I even had lines.
So why did you want to make the leap from rapping into acting?
Well, it kind of leaped onto me. I was minding my own business, and I got a call from the Hudlin brothers. And they wanted me to do a cameo in a movie called Great White Hype. And that's when I met Peter Berg, who's in this scene with me, and Sam Jackson. And I started getting requests for reads, and I started going in audition. And I actually auditioned twice for this role here. The first time I didn't get it because I went in regular. And my coach told me, look, this time wear the teeth, the gold teeth, and the eyeball. And go back in there and do the read. I went in, I did everything that the coach told me to do, and I got the part.
You know, you're famously from Staten Island, and this film is set in the New York that you helped put on the map. Did you feel even more pressure to get it right, you know, to lend real authenticity to the part?
At that point in time, it wasn't even a thought, because Wu-Tang, we basically were running New York, so we couldn't do any wrong. So, no, not at all.
All right, up next.
Silas.
How high?
Yo, dog, man.
This was easy, actually, because it was just me and Redman being me and Redman, you know. But the funny thing was, one of the producers would tell us, you know, at points in times, like, you guys are great in the morning when we're shooting, but after we come back from lunch, it's a little different. And
what was happening during lunch?
You know, we smoke break. She said, at the end of the day, you know, I'm a producer. I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. That's your face up there. So it's you representing you at this point in time, and you want to be the best that you can be. So that day was the day it stopped.
All right, so clear this up for me. There was a sequel written for you and Redman, but another sequel featuring different actors premiered on MTV last year. But will you and Red still make your own sequel?
Not absolutely yes, but yes, absolutely.
Okay, up next.
That was hot. That was hot. I gotta go drop some knowledge on that.
At this point, you've been acting for a decade.
Yeah.
Did landing this role feel different to you at this moment in your career?
Kind of, because it was given. I didn't have to audition for it. They kind of just had me come in and do my thing. And the funny thing is, so I'm smoking a cigarette outside my trailer, and here comes this little white girl comes walking over, and she's like, man, I love your music. You know, you're nothing like I thought you'd be, not in an insulting way. She was more or less like, I thought, you know, you'd have like a big mob with you, you know, maybe smoke coming up out the trailer and stuff. She's very hyper, like not hyper in a sense like she's on something, but like, you know, the moment she's in this moment at this point in time. And it was Natalie Portman. So I'm just looking at her like, you know, you in Star Wars, little lady.
This was the epitome of an indie film. Did it introduce you to an entirely new audience?
If it did, I didn't know at the time.
Okay.
Because at this point, I was still heavy into the music. People were acting like, you know, Wu-Tang and myself were past our prime, and I felt like I had something to prove, so I was focused more on music. So I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was really, really good, and the music really played out in that.
Well, and Zach Braff is a huge music buff.
Yeah, he introduced me to a lot of new bands, as a matter of fact, you know.
Yeah. Was he a fan of your music?
I have no idea, because I don't remember that conversation. Natalie Portman was there. Hello.
Up next.
So, Cheese, who's your dog?
I was so green then. Jesus.
But you were so good. I mean, to share screen time with these two and hold your own, that's
Dominic
really...
and Wendell?
Yes.
Yeah. And just doing this scene right here, I learned that they didn't have to stick to the script, whereas I did. They were in there f***ing with me that day. Pardon my French, but they were in there messing with me. They weren't saying the lines. He was saying all kind of weird crap to me and stuff. Some of it didn't make it, but a lot of it did. And I'm just sitting there trying not to laugh the whole freaking time, man.
Okay, so clearly David Simon loves working with you. He cast you as a pimp in The Deuce. Why do you think he's hooked on meth?
Method Man. All right. You know what? I think all of their shows are in the same universe. So you will have characters that kind of like American Horror Story, where you don't get the same story, but you get some of the same faces. Not same characters, but same faces. And they like to keep their actors working, which I totally respect.
But I feel like there's something that he sees in you or something that you understand about his language that makes it work as well.
I think because I'm funny. When I'm on set, I make everybody laugh. I bring cheer and joy to every set I'm on. That might be it.
Welcome back to Couch Surfing. I'm still here with Method Man. Method, shall we continue?
Absolutely. She had to take a smoke break, y'all. You know, she be back there hitting that wacky tobacco.
Is this guy the most difficult co-star you've ever had to work with?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. My God, and his breath was bad. Look at my face. That's not death. That's breath. This is when I became serious about acting. I didn't want to mess up. I knew Tom McCarthy was an award-winning director.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was so wrapped up, like everybody was in this movie, because Adam Sandler puts on these shoes and he becomes these different people. So all of us that he becomes, we're trying to figure out how do we act like Adam Sandler when
right.
the whole thing was, and this is the beauty of having a coach. I'm trying to watch Adam Sandler and get mannerisms and things of that nature when that wasn't the answer. The answer was, you're not trying to act like Adam, bro. He's trying to act like you. So act like you.
All right. Up next.
This cat, it was actually three of them.
Okay.
That one there was the coolest cat because all that cat did was sleep. I think Tiffany Haddish actually adopted one of the cats when we were finished.
Oh,
yeah, because they were
so
actually
sweet.
Rescues, I believe, and Tiffany adopted one of them. This cat is fat as hell now. But in this scene, this was actually my first day. This was my first day on set, and I had no idea how hot it would be. So if you look, as the scene goes on, you can see the sweat really beating up on my forehead. It was like 110 degrees out there.
Were you a fan of Key and Peele's comedy before signing on to this adventure?
Yeah. It's crazy because when I went in for my audition, you would not believe this. I'm going through my classes and everything. I'm getting like 2-3 auditions a day. And when I got the sides for this, it was 6 scenes, 10 pages to memorize, 3 days. And, you know, there's always that nervous energy when you get there, but I'm standing outside while someone else is in there auditioning, and they're laughing their butts off in there. Now I'm really nervous. Because I ain't no comedian, and these 2 guys are certified comedians.
Right.
And I already know that they're both in there for the read. Before we even started, my script is down. I'm off script. So
look at you.
They're ready to call action. Keegan and Jordan picked their scripts up. I'm like, oh, hell no. Y'all got to put those down. I spent the last 3 days learning all of this. Y'all better know y'all shit. I guess a month or 2 later. I'm doing the first day, and me and Jordan get to talking, and he was like, bro, when you walked in the room, you had the part. And I wanted to choke him.
Up next.
Woohoo.
It looks like you're enjoying playing a big-time lawyer with a $500,000 retainer.
Yes. Well, you know what? The best part about doing things like this is you grow with the character. Because I definitely was not familiar with any kind of things that had to do with law. And I mean, I give all the kudos to Courtney and 50 for even challenging me. And as I watched from episode 1 through 5, I can see the growth. I can see how, you know, I walked in with my jacket on too tight, was a little uncomfortable, but by 2nd and 3rd episode, the jacket was loosened. By 4th episode, it's hanging on the back of the chair. By the 5th episode, my feet are up on the table, my hands are behind my head, and I am there.
We see a lot of you in one episode. Actors always talk about nude scenes being awkward, and I want to know how you felt about filming that very Very steamy scene. It's very steamy.
For me, it wasn't awkward. I mean, it read awkward because I was more or less like, why I got to be coming from up underneath the covers? And, it's like I'm being submissive. So I spoke to Lorenz Tate about it because I really had a problem with this. So Lorenz was more or less like, you have to find a space that justifies you being there in the first place. And when I seen him next, it was like, we were at a table reading. He was like, did you figure it out? I was like, yeah. The scene prior to that, she was questioning about the money.
Right.
So how do I shut her up?
You're having a phenomenal year. There's a Vampire in the Bronx movie, too, that I heard about.
Vampires versus the Bronx. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Yes, no nudity, thank God.
Listen, if anyone's going to get nude, you don't have to worry. You were fine, my friend.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Method Man, thanks for surfing by. You can watch Power Book 2 Ghost on Stars Now. See you next time on Couch Surfing. Bye.
See you later.